What? There we go. There we go. Finally. And now it's super low for some reason. As always, the audio, let's see. And they're probably, the desktop audio probably isn't working too. Hold on a second. I guess, no, the computer restart. We need to, let's try and get the volume up. Is this peaking? It almost feels like it shouldn't be this high. Hey, good morning, Jack. Let me know how the audio. Give me a second. While we look at this, let's see here. Let me try and get it up. Should have tested this. Apologies, I should have tested this beforehand. That way we didn't have to deal with this right now. But but hey, it happens. It happens. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Jack. It's good to see you. Let me know if that volume's all right. I don't want to go too high, but at the same time, I want to be able to. I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me. Let me just tap the volume up a little bit more. Get it. That looks good on my end. So let me know if there's something wrong on your end. But looks good to me. Good to see you guys. Today we got a spicy topic to start it out with. This is talking about apolitical. Now, my channel covers video games, but it also covers the sort of culture as well around video games. And a lot of it is, I also related for like a pro male perspective is a very important part of my channel. And one of the things that's happening right here this week is the idea that really everything in the video game community has become political, and in a way like it's become longhoused. Really, with the advent of social media, it's become completely longhoused, because now like any male interaction that happens is recorded. You could see, Discord logs, you could see screenshots, and it ends up just making it very hard for young men to just, have fun as men. And you'll see this today in this example. So this is a Jason Zimmerman, which is a Mewtwo King, very famous Smash Brothers player, if you follow that scene. And the Smash community's kind of been really in turmoil, some sort of like fighting for its soul in a way after the suicide. Well, actually, it's the death. He attempted to commit suicide, but then later died of complications related to that suicide. So after his death, there's been a lot of calls against this sort of longhouse mentality that is, being created by leftists that just sort of use this stuff to exclude you if you don't toe the lines, you don't say the proper stuff. You get shut out and banned from the communities. And I think people are realizing more and more that these people are completely toxic. They're ruining these communities. And in order to have bring back the sort of fun that we had during the early 2000s, but they need to go, essentially. We're realizing, right now, gay race communism still is the sort of state religion. It's still the sort of accepted viewpoint in a lot of ways. It's what's taught in schools, universities. It's what's on, online, in the news. All of that stuff is, all of it's there. But let's get into what he said. Since not everybody realizes my stance on this, again, he's kind of already, I think, kind of messing up here by even having to try to state this. I don't approve of racism or hating groups of people in general. I think it's stupid. I prefer in the past when it seemed like everyone just got along to play video games together, simpler days. So this is sort of the appeal to, again, the early 2000s or maybe like even the later 2000s, when it just didn't seem like it was that important. When you could have like a video game club, we could have like a Smash social. It didn't matter. The fact that you just liked video games and you enjoyed them were enough for you to kind of join this community and get along. That was what was important. Do you enjoy the video game? Can you talk to each other about those video game experiences? And back then, it was like, you're sort of an outcast for liking video games, for like wanting to be part of a video game club. And that was enough, So that way, disparate groups that didn't have a lot together, a lot in common, could get along. And really, it felt like back in that day, race wasn't a big thing. Race, gender identity, that stuff had not become as important as it is today. At least in like the sort of like public dialogue. So it really was a different time. Everyone wants to make things political. He writes down here, everyone wants to make things political or negative online. And it's really stupid. As naive as it sounds, I want things to go back to how it was before, when it was about hating everyone for the reasons that I think are, when it wasn't about hating everyone for reasons that I think are bad reasons, which seems more in common now than in the past. I'm not sure what he means by that. It's kind of vague, but people didn't like that. You have like, again, the first thing, I think this was a Troon, this Christina character. I don't think there was a natural born female. That time never existed. Everyone didn't just get along and play video games. They successfully pushed and kept the people they hated out. And then this is just projection. 100%. Like, they're like, guys, it never existed. I ran a video game club in college back in the early 2000s. Basically, it was illegal for us to discriminate against anyone. So everyone was welcome to join. And like the general sense was that everyone was welcome to join. If you liked video games, you want to play, you could, unless like they were doing something weird, they just weren't socially calibrated. But we didn't have a bunch of women in the club. There's like maybe one or two. Everyone seemed to respect them, and like the guys, if there was like a guy that was kind of creepy, that stuff got regulated, like we'd tell him like, hey, I didn't even have to deal with that. I think it's just the other club members told him like, hey, get lost. If it was like, you either need to change, you need to like cool it or you get out. But there was no like, we hung out with black people, Puerto Rican, men, women. We didn't care. Like, we were happy to get women in the club. It was never, there was no like transgender people. I mean, that'd be kind of weird. But even then, like back in the day when you went to conventions, you had people dressing up as women. It wasn't like a transgender thing. It was just more of a joke. But there was no discrimination like that. It wasn't widespread if there was. But these people want to project and say that, that's just your perspective. Though it wasn't reality. It's not reality. It's what you saw and what you experienced, but it's not reality. What Bear here experienced was actual reality. It's such a female-coded thing. Like, here's what matters is my perspective here. Prejudice has always been part of the experience. I've had doors slammed on my face multiple times in college, and just to ask people to play because of my ethnicity, was he go to like dorm rooms and asking people to pay Melee? Didn't touch the game for years because of that. Give me a break. Give me a break, Bear. That shit never happened. Or you're like trying to like wedge your way into like maybe like a friend group that just wasn't interested in you. It's ridiculous. But this is the kind of stuff that that always comes up when you talk about anything like this. And I don't think people are starting to realize that people like this, like Bear and Christina, are completely toxic, and really they just need to get rid of them. They just need to like say like, hey, you got to form communities around people that exclude people like Christina. They need to have the door shut on them. That's the issue. One of the issues with the community right now. The reason why you have these really bigoted and mean people sort of running some of these organizations is because you didn't shut the door on people's faces like Christina, like Bear, because in the end they're gonna hate. anti-male, very anti-white. They just hate people that extremely hate people that are different from them, and they want to create a community where those people, cannot get in, and that's just reality. And this is one of the responses that really kind of shows the sort of longhouse that social media, while it's being great for people to like make a living off video games, it is not good for male interactions in general. So this is a guy named Gresh. Again, I guess he's a black person, according to him. He, him. So he has his pronouns in the bio, which always a good sign. So this is the simpler days when racism didn't exist, according to Mewtwo King. Again, at no point did Mewtwo King say racism didn't exist in his post at all. So it's just immediately a lie, a complete lie. So it just shows like this guy cannot be trusted whatsoever.
Ladies.
So this is the video here. Let's listen to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first time in the history of the world, Mewtwo King is in the front seat.
Slaves go in the back.
Slaves go in the back.
Slaves go in the back.
What the?
Get in the back.
I can't get in the back, Oosh, man.
You gotta take this.
Is this the first time you're in the front seat? How does it feel? You're a big kid now, huh? You're a big kid, huh? Oh, pal? Oh, yeah, you're a big boy now.
Get in the back.
You're a
Hey,
big boy now, huh? Yeah, big boy.
Evan, he tied his own shoes today.
That's a fun interaction between two friends. So at some point he says, "Slaves get in the back," as he makes a video. The guy's clearly making a video to rag on Mewtwo King. He makes the joke that slaves get in the back, and then after that, he laughs, and then he starts,
Big kid, huh?
ragging on him again. "You're a big boy now, huh, pal?" And like someone makes the joke, "Oh, he tied his own shoes today." So this is just normal male interaction. This is 100% normal. Guys just messing around. Like he rags on him. Mewtwo makes a comment back, and then he starts ragging on him again. This is a typical back and forth. And people just either they can't get it, like they've never had male friends, they've never interacted as men, or maybe they just hate men. I don't know. It's like people watching this has been fun. I can't lie. It's quite interesting to see a lot of boys in here argue that calling a black man a slave in 2013 is still innocent, not at all racist joke in 2025. Yeah, it is. That's reality, Gresh. You're a social maladjusted retard. The Mewtwo Klansman. Yeah, this is just two men messing around with each other, because it's not really the race between the two aren't really important. What's important is that they're friends, so they mess with people. I've also seen people try to defend this as like, Mewtwo King's just autistic, so he doesn't really get the social implications of it. But that's stupid. There's nothing autistic about this interaction. It's well calibrated because he knows that's his friend. He knows he can mess around with him because of that. And this is normal social interaction for guys. But nowadays, that this kind of shit can't exist, or can't be filmed, because if you do, then some weirdo, here again, it's the Longhouse coming out, is going to try to say Mewtwo King is racist because he made a joke with a friend. And that's even his friend PB&J. This is the person being called, recording the video, has to come out and defend him, which good on him, because even this kind of guy is going to get pushback. I'm sure he felt some sort of pressure to not to go with the flow on this, to say like, oh yeah, that was racist, but that's not how he is. But he comes out and says, Mewtwo King is not racist at all, and always treated me like a brother. We lived together for years and always made jokes like this in the past. Please don't try to misrepresent him on being racist. I can't speak for everyone, but this wasn't how you're portraying it out to be. So he's just coming out and saying that that's not how he is, and that's true. It's just two guys joking. We lived together for years and always made jokes like this. This is just normal male interaction. They like being, when guys get together, they like being transgressive. They like making jokes that are inappropriate. That's kind of like one of the signs that you're friends, is that you can make fun of each other on, topics. You can call each other, all sorts of slurs. You should see some of the post-zero after hours chats where there's definitely stuff that violates TOS, but I mean, this is social media nowadays. You can't, so anything that's related to that, you can't have. There was a team that won the Splatoon World Championships, or like North American Championships, one of those things. Then people started putting a bunch of Discord chats that they had, and they end up getting that title, like the prizes for it, revoked because of that. No one got replaced as champion. It just got removed. So guys making fun in Discord servers, having like some transgressive fun, can't have a championship because, again, a lot of these people are just jealous. They're not good at the game, and part of like this sort of like religion that they're part of, this social justice religion. That's all about race and sex and gender. All of this is designed to keep men down. It's anti-white, it's anti-male. So men kind of taking part in this behavior.
Ladies
where
and
you're
gentlemen,
saying where you're saying like slaves get in the back.
Music King is in the front seat.
That's sort of like just fun.
Slaves go in the back.
Slaves going to back.
Slaves go in the back.
What the heck?
This is just, again, normal guys. Normal guys. This is how they interact. These people just, either one, they don't get it, or two, they don't care. This is just a way to attack. Really, this is just a way to attack Music King. Because he's saying like, hey, what's happening right now in the community, this sort of like this longhouse where men can't make any sort of joke, they can't have any freedom to really have fun, or this sort of them using all this social justice and this left-wing crap to push back on people and ban people like hacks who they create this community that's incredibly exclusionary, where the people up top are able to bully and attack other people, and especially if you're a man that's somewhat socially awkward, you just get shut out. It's just, you just become a prime target for them, and they use they'll use stuff like this to attack you and say like, this is a guy we don't need in our community because he made a joke with his friend. But for Goofy Gamer, exactly. It's TikTok, but for Goofy Gamer tweets. Exactly. And this just happens all the time. I think people are starting to wake up, I hope, and they realize that guys like Gresh or any of these people that instantly say like, if you don't, and this is just, people like this just need to go. I personally think that, we need fraternal organizations, like men's only gaming groups is the only way to like to have a safe space, if you will, for just normal male interaction. But you have guys like this. Unfortunately, I can't co-sign on a community being apolitical when that means giving equal access to people who want some of the members of that community dead or in camps. It's just, they respond with the most ridiculous hyperbole whatsoever. It's like, they want them dead or in camps. What camps? What, illegal immigrants or something? Is that who want the community? So basically, anyone slightly right wing, or not ultra leftist. That's all they're trying to do. They're just trying to shut these people out. Got this guy. This response right here represents the fundamental problem with the Smash community on every level. And this is like just people. This what does being black or LGBT have to do with being left wing? Well, it kind of does have something to do with it. I'm afraid, Ramasaur. If we're being real, 2, you instantly assign that anyone on the right is exactly everyone right is a Klansman according to them. We should keep politics out of video games. Yeah, and then it's a cop, a Klansman, and I guess a Trump supporter with a Confederate flag. I mean, this is just the sort of caricature they see on the on as right wingers. You just can't get along with people like this. Like, there's no being apolitical with people that want to portray you as demons, essentially, and have you killed is that's the reality of what they want to do is to kill you. That's why they tried to portray you as or dehumanize you as some sort of people that want to kill you. Really, back in the day, any of these people would just I like technicals. Just because your extremist rhetoric is mainstream, it doesn't mean you sound less retarded for repeating it. Well, which is true. I'm hoping people just realize this rhetoric is retarded and just needs to go. We're moving on from that. I think this is just a great example of just how messed up things have become nowadays for guys that just want to be part of a video game community. You have to deal with this constant shit. And I think people are finally getting exhausted with it. And hopefully they do. And guys like Resh, they just get shoved in a locker and told to fuck off. That's what needs to happen. You don't need to engage. At some point, this dialogue just need to stop engaging with it. Call them a slur. I think Ryan put it pretty well in a tweet earlier. I'm not going to show it on YouTube, but yeah, you just call them a slur and move on, because there's no good faith argument to be made for this for guys like this. But like I said, let's move on to some funner topics. This was kind of funny. So Chris USA, they're a firearms company. I'm not a big gun guy, but apparently they posted their gun called the Vector. Girls Frontline. There's a which is like a gotcha game. So one of the waifus is called Vector. So the community manager freaked out, mass spams a notice about it, and starts hiding related replies, and the account gets restricted because of it. That's kind of funny, because he couldn't handle waifu posting, apparently. All the hidden replies are a Vivi. You're committing a terrible mistake, Chris. So a lot of people pointing out that, you know what, a lot of gun nerds also, just like anime, a lot of these gun guys are total like weeb nerds. There's a lot of the Venn diagram has a lot of crossover, essentially. And they did respond to, and here's Chris Kersey, a VTuber, showing off that the customing, the simps this girl has. So someone gave this gun to her. Somehow Chris got their account restricted. A person of anime who loves Vector. I wonder what the social media manager thinks of my 45 my community sent me for my birthday last year. Look at being a VTuber, you get sick custom guns sent to you by your simps. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Kind of cool. So Chris eventually replied, "We heard your concerns about the hidden replies on the Girls Frontline 2 content. Want to be transparent about what's happening. Some replies were removed or reported due to violations of our content guidelines." I guess you have content guidelines for replies now? That seems kind of bizarre. Specifically, not safe for work or explicit material, which is not allowed on our page. A small number of individuals. This just seems like a bad idea or a losing prospect, but I could be wrong. A small number of replies crossed the line. We took action to maintain a respectful space for everyone to ensure, this is just, again, anime girls being posted, to ensure the page stays welcoming. We temporarily hidden related replies while our team we got a team to review people. We're also aware of some attempts to organize mass replies, which is absolutely encourage community. While we encourage community engagement, coordinated spam can be disruptive for the conversations. What the hell do they think Twitter is? This is crazy. This reply is insane. Inappropriate replies make it easier for flag to suppress our content, which affects our entire community. I have a feeling that this is having the opposite effect. I gotta be honest. I think having a bunch of people reply with anime girls really just helps your content. It's just people having fun. And then when you do this, it's not good. It has the opposite effect. But I thought that was funny. That gotcha players getting banned in the replies and having a social media faux pas over anime girl, which I don't know if Girls Frontline, they're based off guns. They might be. I don't know. It's one of the anime gotcha games I haven't played. So all this over a gun tweet. It's funny. Well, Bethesda, I don't know. People are kind of arguing whether or not Doom the Dark Ages is flopping. I don't know. But I'm starting to think that anytime a company posts players instead of sales, that it might be flopping. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. It's hard to say. It's hard to say in this era of Game Passes, what a player is on Game Pass versus a sale of the game. It's again, no one's really explained the math to me on that. But when you're like, thank you for 3 million players, thank you for making Doom Dark Ages the biggest launch. This sounds very much like Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows, which apparently did not do super well. It basically, surprise, surprise. Ubisoft said, it didn't really meet their expectations, which that means like it didn't do as well. Considering the price on this game, like it needs to be a hit, and it just wasn't. So Doom Dark Age is the biggest launch in ID's history. What does this even mean? 7 times faster to 3 million players than Doom Eternal. Again, I believe this is counting Game Pass. So it's people that didn't have to buy the game. They just have Game Pass, so they got it for free. Essentially, or they can just play it as part of Game Pass. So it's not people dropping. I think the game is a full $70. I didn't really look that up. Doom the Dark Ages. What are we looking at as far as price here? Looks about a $70 game. So it's full price, a full price AAA game. And I can understand why people are kind of hesitant. Really, the screenshots I've seen of it, the videos I've seen, it looks like a lot of fun. I don't think there's anything really bad about it. But for $70, it's a steep price, and you could probably play the other Dooms for incredibly cheap. Like I haven't played any Doom in a long time. I don't know if I've even beat the original Doom. I'm not a huge FPS single player FPS fan. It seems like fun. It's just something I've never gotten into. But there are already people kind of defending. People are trying to convince us that the game flopped a couple of days ago. And of course, Mighty Queef here. But Weirdos said Doom the Dark Ages flopped because of Steam count. Which, look, the Steam count wasn't good. I can bring that up. Let's see, Steam DB. Doom the Dark Ages. Let's see what it is. Let's see what the graph looks like here. Let's see what the chart looks like. The chart's not good. It's not good. Its peak was 31,000 players, which is all right. But again, AAA, I don't know what the cost for Doom the Dark Ages was. It's not a great count. You want to see hundreds of thousands or maybe millions would be a mega hit. But Doom is going to have kind of a nicher audience. Hopefully it didn't cost a ton to make, because I think these first-person shooter type games, they're not. Unfortunately, they're not like RPGs, which is seems like every hit nowadays has to be some sort of RPG bullshit. I'm kind of sick of it. where it's like super easy to play, super easy to get into. We got numbers go up, numbers get bigger type of crap. Very compulsive type of gameplay is what seems to be super hot right now, or like super easy to get to make numbers. Doom, a first-person shooter that's like entirely skill-based, is going to be a harder sell for the mainstream video game audience. That's just the reality. And I just don't get. I really don't get the player count thing. I think anyone trying to like say like, oh yeah, player count 3 million, that's awesome. It's not happening. I wish they made more shmups too. I really do. But like I said, it's a very niche audience, and they're still going to make shmups. It's just they're never going to get like a huge budget because it's a very niche thing. They're awesome games, but you're not going to get a ton of those games coming out. Just no way. Like stuff like Star of Providence kind of like tried to combine shmups with some more like in genres like roguelikes, which is a cool experiment. I kind of liked Star of Providence, but not as much as like a pure shmup or bullet hell. But it was good. But I don't think you're fooling anybody with this crap though. 3 million players. Give me a break. Hopefully it didn't cost as much as like Ubisoft's let's see, what was the cost? Cost of Doom, The Dark Ages. Or cost of development. Let's look it up. If they give me a the total cost is not publicly available. Why are you giving me the cost of Doom? If it's like a few hundred million, I think they're in trouble. If it's like a modern AAA game where it's like 200 million, I think they're in trouble. When they're posting players instead of sales, it's not good. But I don't want this to be the end of Doom, so I hope it does well. I really hope it does well. I'm not like saying this as an own. I don't think a lot of people want Doom to fail. I think they like Doom. But that's unfortunate to see. I really don't think the player count thing is accurate. And I don't think it's a good sign either when you can't just say like, "Oh, we broke 1 million sales," and instead you're like 3 million players. That's awesome. Like, do they have sale count for Assassin's Creed Shadows? Because I don't think it's doing as bad as it Shadows did on Steam, but this AI. I don't know. It doesn't really give me any clear answer. It was the best-selling game in March. Wow. Consoles, 73% of sales were on consoles. But that's here nor there, Hey, what's up? Good to see you. I never seen hi at a JBB. Good to see you, Daniel Hernandez. Nuke in the chat. Good to see you. Almost done with Expedition 33. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. Like I said, RPGs just do well nowadays. They're super popular. Of course, Jack here. Ryan. Always good to see everybody there. Everyone in the chat. Well, let's move on from Doom. This was, Super Nintendo World at Universal. It opened up in Orlando. I don't plan on going to it yet, even though I am in Florida. It's like, I hate crowds, and I think, this will always be crowded right now, I'm sure it's absolute mayhem at the moment. Most immersive genre. I guess people love immersion. Here we go. You can see Miyamoto here showing off Nintendo World. Of course, they've already opened up one in Japan. I know it's done extremely well. but there was a huge snub. I was seething with rage when I saw this. But let's look at it. It's awkward, and
we're gonna switch it up a little bit here. Showbit has someone so special walking past on the carpet, and we don't want to miss him. So let's go to Showbit. Oh. All right.
Look at how awkward that is. Holy smokes. No, absolute silence. They had no idea who Shigeru Miyamoto
So
was.
let's go to Showbit. Oh.
Hey, there he is. The man, the myth, the legend, creator of Mario, Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda. Probably the man that sort of embodies the spirit of Nintendo more than any person, or at least the video game era of Nintendo, more than anyone else in the world. They have no idea. They had no fucking idea, which honestly, it's not surprising. I mean, if they're like more like movie people, I don't think even like people that like video games would necessarily know. Like, unless you're really into the video game like scene, you wouldn't know who Shigeru Miyamoto was. But it's kind of like the equivalent of not knowing who Steven Spielberg is. But though, I don't know, maybe modern people wouldn't know who Spielberg is. Has he really had like a big hit in a long time? I'm just surprised no one would, inform them that the sort of like guy that's opening up Nintendo World would know who would let him know who that is. He just sort of like waves and says hi, and he's gone. I like they're just smiling. They're really awkward. Like, I don't know who that fuck it is.
So of course we're gonna switch.
I like it, the comment at the end. Wow, two drunk dudes with an iPhone could run this better than this. A lot of people not happy about that. Miyamoto, the legend, being snubbed. This is why you don't, instead of two women, you have to have like a normal guy here. Maybe someone that knows video games. Why would they know? This guy just, I think he's like a theme park nerd, so maybe he wouldn't know it either. A little disappointed. This. Guys, did you know AI is about to replace you all? I didn't, but now that I've seen this, well, I'm fearing for my life here. My livelihood as a YouTube streamer is about to go away. So this is from a new AI. Let's
Okay,
watch
so
this.
this is how you start. You find a tree and you just punch it down.
This is made
Okay,
it.
so
Wow, that's a great Paul. You just punch it down. But honestly, this does remind me of like every big Minecraft YouTuber. The sort of dead eyes looking at the screen,
find a tree,
way too happy.
And you just punch it down. Okay, so this
he has no idea what to say, so he's just like rocking. Again, his eyes still like super wide. I guess it really is the typical Minecraft streamer. And the other, like, I love this one too. Let's make this. Can we make this bigger here? Make that. Like this one, action-packed movie here.
When we get in there, I want no bullshit.
I don't know if you've ever seen like Sam Hyde's A Great War. It's like a parody on these films where it's just like the most generic. The enemy, dude. We got to take down these enemies. It's just like how generic and dumb some of these dialogue is, and like this just takes it to the next level.
You stay on my 6 at all times.
Stay on my 6 at all times. It looks very real. I'll say that.
Stay sharp. These fuckers are nasty and dangerous. Stay alert.
Stay sharp, guys.
What the hell happened here? Where are the bodies?
Where are the bodies? That's a great line. Like this is where it like breaks down and just looks retarded. Like no one's dying. It's just like it reminds me of Saturday morning cartoons where just everyone's shooting and no one's. There's not an ounce of blood. What's going on there? AI is replacing us, guys. Look out. Just shooting his own personal demons here, like the wall. Gotta go. Take that. When I like look at this, I don't think, wow, AI is going to replace us all. I'm like, man, modern entertainment is so vapid that this stuff, I guess it could replace that. This sort of like generic, got to optimize for the greatest return. That's sort of like very business-like content creation. Maybe it'll replace that. Like that's the only like optimistic silver lining. AI replaces all the people making like this generic slop, like trend writing, algorithm writing slop. Maybe that happens, and like people that are genuinely creative rise to the top because of it. But I'm probably just full of shit. It's probably people are going like, oh, yeah, this is cool. Like, look at this.
So I went to the zoo the other day, and all they had was one dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
Wow, that does remind me of an actual like this is a Netflix comedy special right here. Very fun, very funny. But the Minecraft streamer was great.
Okay, so this is how you start. You find a tree.
Now it's just going to be like infinite Indians making Minecraft YouTube videos as like a person.
Okay, so this is how you
As a white guy with like dead eyes, soulless eyes.
start. You find a tree, and you just like,
You just like punch
it
it.
down.
Just like bizarre pause.
Okay.
You got it, guy. But hey, I got some good news. Forget AI. Let's watch this. Let's watch this shit. We got good shit.
My faith is my shield.
Oh, I love those lines. This was such a good
Cleanse, purge, kill. Space Marines attack! Even in death, I still serve.
I like how from this perspective it looks really bad. Like you see like the background looks super plain and bland, but like they have to show I guess they're showing that just because it makes the models look good, but in an RTS you're like top down, so you don't notice any of this crap. Like it needs to be open. You can't just have like trees because that would block your view. So it has to be bland. But it's funny how like bad the backgrounds look versus the actual view of that you have in game. I love the death animation. Swig off. Those banners look really good. Even today, this looks good. This is like 20 years old. Then you have the drop ships descending from the sky as he dies.
There is no such thing as innocence, only degrees of guilt.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. So it's going to have all 9 armies, all 4 campaigns, 4K support, upscale textures. improved camera and lighting, and 8-bit modding support. So the mods are going to be back. And this is the, of course, Dawn of War Definitive Edition. I love Dawn of War. It's probably my favorite RTS of all time. Relic isn't changed. Dawn of War, the undisputed king of Warhammer RTS games, is getting a remaster. But Relic isn't changing too much. We don't want to fix something that isn't broken. And that's music to my ears, because I don't want a remake. I don't want a remaster. I don't want, the remaster edition to just change a bunch of bullshit. I want Dawn of War, and I want it to work. The issue with the current Dawn of War edition is that it is not working. Does not work well on modern hardware. And it spawns sequels. The sequels suck. I hated Dawn of War 2 because they changed a lot of stuff that was on the basis of Dawn of War. Then I think in the third they tried to go back a little bit, but even then it's just it's not good. So this Relic has gone through a bit of rigmarole in the last year, says design director Felipe Buñuel. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. So it went from Sega, they sort of Umbrella, and we sort of reconnected with Games Workshop. I think they were part of THQ for a while, but THQ got bought out. But the original stands. It's a classic RTS. I think it's the most loved of the series by far. 40K is as massive it's ever been, and I think it is a good time to bring Dawn of War back. And this is the part where I think is relevant. But if you go back and try and play it, says Buñuel, the game holds up really well, but there are 4 different executables. The first 2 only play in 4:3, and the other 2 play in widescreen, but sort of stretched 4:3. And there's a few hoops you have to jump through. You're agreeing to GameSpy. I fucking hated GameSpy. Fuck, I hate GameSpy so much. That online stuff was total bullshit. It didn't work at all. The online multiplayer powered by GameSpy was dog shit. Utter dog shit. I hated it. It's just it's bringing back traumatic memories of the past. I'm like, oh wow, I can't connect to a game. That's awesome. Really, really fun. Thank you. There's a bunch of weirdness in order to actually play it on modern hardware. So we thought, yeah, it's time when we can bring it onto modern hardware, make it easier for people to play, while still maintaining those 20 years of mods and really classic experience. I've never played Dawn of War modded. Maybe I should try it. It might be a lot of fun, but it's cool that they're going to make sure that it can still work with the mods. That's awesome. And that's really what a remaster should be, is just hey, let's make it playable with modern hardware. It's not going to be super ugly looking. There's not this weird screen stretching. It's not going to crash when you Alt-Tab. When I played, Dawn of War recently, I think it was last year, I noticed, just how difficult it was to play with stuff like that, where it's hard to get a recording. It's hard to get it to work with the resolution. It looks kind of weird, but this is awesome. The idea that it's going to be available on GOG too, so it'll you can get it without you just sort of DRM, which would be great. The classic experience really important. And line between being a remaster is increasingly blurry, but Dawn of War Definitive Edition is going to be a light touch. Relic is getting it up and running on modern hardware, supporting modern widescreen monitors, and cutting out some faff. The extra touches here and there, but the goal has been to keep it as similar as possible to the original, which is excellent. This is exactly what I want to hear. I don't want them changing anything. We don't want to fix something that isn't broken. The fundamental game still works. That's what we want to deliver. So happy to see this. Like I said, I love Dawn of War. I think it's an awesome RTS. If you haven't played it, you should definitely try it. Maybe wait for the Definitive Edition. If you want a more pleasant experience, though you might have to end up paying more, then you could probably get it really cheap. The normal edition right now on various platforms. But really looking forward to this. Definitely going to grab it when it comes out. Hopefully, well, I might be cautiously optimistic. I'll still like wait and see what people say of it, but definitely, it's definitely cool. Cool news. Finally, let me take a drink and we'll go over the game of the week. Lunar Master is really good, but don't care for the new voice actors, but it's good. Yeah, that's awesome. I know they like re-released some stuff like Breath of Fire 4. Looks really good. I haven't had a chance to they're going to make the orcs have a story in this remaster, aren't they? I don't know. I mean, they did have a campaign, I think, during one of the versions, one of the campaign versions. I don't know if that was I don't think it was Winter Assault, but it might have been Soulstorm or maybe Dark Crusade. I didn't really play a lot of Soulstorm, so I wasn't. So I'll look forward to that. It'll almost be like new to me. I kind of stopped like playing after it was obvious that the sequel was going to be trash. So I kind of got annoyed with that, and not to mention like they were just releasing. There was like weren't making fundamental improvements to the game, and they were kind of just releasing these expansions. Like hey, why don't you actually fix your game? You know, some of the like the online that wasn't working at all. Maybe get some servers that were kind of closer on the East Coast. Maybe would be really awesome. So I don't have to like have like 200 ping. So yeah, I was done by that point, but it's still excited for this. So this is a game. It's called Nitro Express. It's a lot of fun. Nitro Express. You can see it has like this really nice anime. If you're into like anime, girls and like the pixel art aesthetic, it's a lot of fun. That initially attracted me to the game, but it's also a really fun kind of run and gun. Like the art design on this game is just top notch. Now these cutscenes here, they're no voice acting. It's all text based, and I kind of like that fact. And you can just read through it. It doesn't last super long. The only downside is the fact that some of these cutscenes you can't skip. Like you can skip this one, but not necessarily other ones. Or like you can't just like skip the whole thing. You have to like just quickly tap to quickly go through the text. That part I wasn't a huge fan of, especially if on the harder ones you have to repeat it multiple times. And I go through this crap is annoying. They have like really fantastic pixel art. You can see like in the background, you have all these like little details. It's really well done, really well drawn. You can tell there's a lot of love put into it. One of the things from like the gameplay perspective, you have a lot of like unlockable weapons, which like on a fundamental level, I don't like. It's better to like just have everything unlocked and like just sort of pick and choose. But this is just a part of game design nowadays. You have to have this because it feels good. People like unlockables. They like the level up. Each weapon has goes from like 1 to 5. You can level it up. Like these like little things help push you forward. They give you little dopamine hits. Like I said, everything has to have RPG mechanics nowadays because they feel good. It feels good to like you're always making progress. You're always getting money, collecting resources. It keeps people playing the game. You have a ton of unlockables like sub weapons and gadgets and stuff. Going over the mines and whatnot. You can see the details are great. And though you do have to go through this room every time, you can skip it pretty quickly. And like when you look at in terms of like the sound design was really top notch. A lot of like the enemy attacks are kind of based on, they have like a sound cue before they attack, which helps with how the game's designed. But sometimes they'll attack you from the back. And like the background music here, I think is really fitting for what it is. It's like very upbeat, kind of heroic. I like the money symbol, like the cash register sound when you blow up the enemies. It's satisfying. You have these like cars blowing up. The art direction is just really good. And while like there's nothing specifically to like push you forward in the levels, it's not like auto scrolling or you don't have any sort of time limit. It's still pretty fast paced. I got blown myself up the dark. You do have these cutscenes in the middle, or like little like dialogue things that are totally optional. You do it by hitting Q, but it gives like a little like story. Fleshes out the characters. A little back and forth between the two partners here. Fun dialogue. Like they also have like bonus missions where you do like fun stuff. It's satisfying to blow up the stuff in the game, which is I think is an important part of the appeal to the game. Everything's satisfying. It's satisfying to blow this stuff up. We'll talk a little bit about move on from this. The gameplay itself, I think they did a really good job with. It's a lot of fun. You have these sort of, again, like the details of them cutting the rebar off as it swings, like as you can see here, as the enemy swings the sword, the rebar gets cut. That's just a really cool little detail. And this is sort of the mission mode of it, and this is like the game stage, like the boss level, but with slightly harder enemy. So instead of like being just the enemy, you have these little ads, these little robots. And what they did with the robots is really, really nice. I think it's a really good enemy design because they get in your way and prevent you from just like beating the crap out of the enemy here. So you can stun it here. But the enemies are going out of their way to sort of get in your way and cover for the boss, so you can't just wail on it at your leisure. And all this is like very predictable patterns. There's not a lot of attacks. I think this thing really only has like 2 attacks, but when you combine it with like this like little enemy only has 2 attacks, but when you combine them together, it makes it a lot harder than a lot more challenging than you'd think. Like I said, these ads are very well designed. But the way they kind of interfere, they purposely like try to jump and get behind you and surround you, which I think is a great touch, because then you have to focus on your person. You have to focus in front of you too. Like they're trying to like split your focus between what's behind you or on top of you at the moment and what's in front of you to sort of see what the attack's going to be. Like here I stun it, and I'm able to shoot it there, but I have to worry about this stuff trying to get in my way while I do it. And then I'm basically focusing on that, and it comes up from a top and tries to hit me. It's just, simple elements. And then this was so funny. The way these things pop up, and it's kind of bullshit because it like comes in. I got a clear shot, but like this is coming up from the bottom of the screen, like respawning. So as I shoot it, it's like bodyguards right in front of me and blocks any hit on the boss. It's like, what the hell is going on? I think like 4 hits from this. I'm almost dead. Like one more hit from this thing is going to kill me. Again, happened for a second time. I'm going like, oh, I got the shot. But I mean, I should have probably seen it since there's a bunch of them flying in the way. But like the ads just do a great job of being insanely annoying, which is what they should be. That's how like you make things difficult without necessarily like just making numbers go up, which I like that level of design. Finally one ekes through the two bots, and I blow it up. This is just one of the bosses in the game. So I like the mission mode. The mission mode's like a fun way to make the game a little more difficult. Though there is like one of the downsides to the game is there's not a lot of content. Beyond, you have like the normal story, which is like 8 missions. You have 20 mission modes, and some of them are pretty fun. And you have like harder versions of the boss in this, which is good. But like their difficulty settings are just health. So basically, hero mode, which is easy, you have 200% health. Then you have balance, which is your normal 100% health, and then weakling, you just have 50% health. So it's not necessarily harder. It's harder, but only in the sense that you can take as many hits, is essentially what it breaks down to, which is, to me, like not a great difficulty setting. It does make it harder to win, but it's not necessarily, like I mentioned in the mission mode, having these like little like ads in here to distract you and get in your way. That's like a better way to add difficulty to the game, is because it makes you focus on different points. You have them getting your way your shots. It's a lot better than just numbers based difficulty, which is not as fun, not as challenging. It's this with weakling, it's just like I said, don't get hit as much, which isn't as fun. And they also don't have like for like long-term play, they don't have a lot to unlock. Like they have like these cool features where you can see here, you have like the golden guns and like a golden grenade. I think that's for unlocking all the stuff and max leveling all your weapons. And you have like this trophy. Like when you start the game, you can see like the office doesn't have those sort of trophies around. There's a lot of stuff's missing. And like as you've completed the game, you get more stuff in your office. Well, that's kind of a cool unlock, but it doesn't have any achievements. And the score system really, well, it has a score system, as you can see as I beat the boss here. It really just ends up being like a way, the only like real like relevant thing is your points, how much money you get, your net pay, which isn't great. It's just their scoring system could help you with like long-term gameplay, in terms of like trying to like do it as best you can, but it seems pretty basic. Like developing multi-kill or like no damage type of stuff. But that trying to like do like no damage runs is more like a meta game. It's not like there's no reward in game or any acknowledgement of it. It doesn't like keep track of like what your best score for each level is, or like each mission, which is another thing that you could potentially give it more longevity. The only like super challenge mode is mission 20, where you go like down to these multi-level challenges. Like you basically go from one level to the next level and you go down. If you reach level 10, you unlock one of the sub weapons, but beyond that, it just gets like insanely difficult, which would be kind of cool, but you can't just travel all the way down to level 11 again. You have to like go through the whole thing, which it just takes forever. So like you go through 10 levels that aren't super challenging and then go to the super challenging level, have to do all that to go to the super challenging level. It's kind of that point kind of annoying. So overall, the game is super good. I really like it. It's everything about it just like fits together very nicely. Even the menu system is kind of unique, though navigating the menus is kind of it's weird because it's different. Like I'd expect escape to be back, especially since it's like kind of made to be played on a mouse and keyboard. But instead, it's like your left click, or no, your right click. Sorry, is back. So some of that stuff's kind of goofy, but you can adjust to it. But even the menu option is kind of unique. Everything has like its own style to it, so it's really good. It's a lot of fun. I think the game itself is only right now is on sale for like 10% off because it just came out. But even I think at full price, it's only like $13. So like right now it's $11.69, but I think even at its normal price it's $12.99. So I don't expect to get like a ton of like, oh no, if I only get like 10 hours out of it, I'm still like, oh, this is still a lot of really fun game. It's just a shame that they won, and I hope they do add achievements to it, or just something to kind of reward people for playing it a bit longer and like mastering the stage. You can do that on your own, but I kind of expect, a video game to try and like make those goals for me. That's part of their job if they want, people to play it for longer than just clearing the levels. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the game. It's the game of the week, Nitro Express. Big recommend from me if you enjoy the sort of anime run and gun style. Oh, here's even a tip. I even included this at the end. If you want to make money real fast, one of the downsides, I think, of the game, the guns are pretty balanced, but I guess maybe it's not a downside, but the sub-weapons are totally unbalanced. Like the flamethrower is so good, and here's me just using the flamethrower to clear the level. It has so much damage, and it's one of those things where, like, if you hold it down, it uses up your percentage. You only have like 100% a gauge that you use the sub weapon of, and it's really just how long you hold it determines how quickly it goes down. But you can just tap it a lot of times and get so much use out of it. You're like, oh, enemies? No thanks. Boom, done. This is a mission mode where like you get more points. If you get knocked down, you lose a lot of points. But since I didn't, got an easy 24,000. That's a good way to quickly stack up cash if you need it and want to unlock everything quick. That's just a little tip from me. But yeah, it's a great game. A lot of fun. Cute anime aesthetic too. Everything about it's just, I think, like unique and fun. But that's it for the podcast, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be redirecting to Post Zero. They're talking about summer plans. I won't be there, unfortunately. Sorry to say, but I hope you guys enjoy it. It should be a lot of fun. And, well, I'll talk to you later, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't, and enjoy the rest of your week. Goodbye.